All right, they earned it. Blues win 4-1 over the Colorado Avalanche. And Blues fans and Avs fans alike, believe me, I am just as confused as you are. Wow, what a win. I mean, I thought the Blues absolutely dominated in the first period. I thought the Blues absolutely dominated in the second. The third one, they kind of slipped off. I'm actually going to pull up the Game Center statistics on this on the NHL app, but this is something we really haven't seen for a long time. And I actually didn't end up watching this. Let me start that over. I didn't end up watching this game. I ended up listening to it. But I mean, from what I'm listening, Chris Kerber is one. Blues fans know this. He is not one to mince his words. He will tell you exactly how he feels about things like this. And you know what? He was telling Blues were dominating. It was a hell of an effort. Colorado really tried in that third period. Let me pull up the shots. I know it was very lopsided in the third. But I thought it was a great game all around from everybody. And let's see, we got, Tarasenko, Shen, Perron, and Thomas scoring, each ending their goal droughts. You got to feel good about this team right now. I mean, is this game enough to prove to me that they can do something with the rest of the season? Not yet. I'm still not convinced that they can keep this momentum going, but based on how this game went, it's hard to not like this team. And by the way, before I really get into the stats, I have them pulled up right here. I think I just did something. So as a lot of you guys know, the Blues Twitter account has never interacted with me before. In the first intermission, when the Blues had I don't even remember what the score was. It was 2-0. It was 2-0 at the end of the first. And I said, this was a good period. We deserve Barclay picks. And they replied to me. They said, here's some Barclay picks for you. I'll put it on screen for you right now. And then they had a great period. And so the logical thing was, well, they did good because they replied to me with Barclay picks. And they said, okay, you did it again. So I guess I'm Twitter famous now. I'm going to try to handle the fame best I can. But I think I did something there, guys. I think I did. So, all right, let's look at the shots real quick. So in the first, it was 7-5 Avalanche, which I'm actually really okay with because, like I talked about in a previous Blue Notes video, the shot count doesn't really matter. It's how many quality chances and how many quality shots there are. And the Blues had far more quality shots than the Avs did in the first. Second period was more of the same. In fact, it was a domination effort it was a back and forth game in the second, really. If you look at it, it was 15-12 were the shots in the second. If I'm not mistaken, that is the highest scoring second period combined out of, I'm pretty sure, every Blues game, So, yeah, only outshot by 3 there. So that means that, we were only outshot by 5 going into the third period, if you look at the total shots. And then in the third period, kind of falls apart. Shots are 10-3 for the Avalanche. But like I said, there wasn't really many quality chances except for the one who I believe was Mikko Rantanen who shot it. And Binnington did that windmill save. That was just freaking insane, and I loved hearing the radio announcers just go absolutely crazy over that. That was the music to my freaking ears. And speaking of good saves, I mean, Jordan Binnington in this one, he definitely stood up and was the best Blues player on the ice this time around. I'm not going to say that this was a perfect effort from the Blues, far from that, really, but he really kept them in it, and the Blues, I don't think the Blues let him down. If you hold the Colorado Avalanche to only 32 shots, that's a win. That is just a testament to how good and how much of an offensive octane the Colorado Avalanche are, So I'm actually really proud of the Blues after this game. They put up a good effort. Now they've beaten the Avalanche in 2 straight games. The last one they definitely should not have won, but this one I think they deserved it. They definitely did. Almost everybody stood up, and I think this also proves that Zach Sanford needs to stay on the bench. Listen, I love Zach Sanford, but for some reason the Blues play really good when he's not in the lineup. So I still love Zach Sanford, and I'm not on the trade Sanford train at all, but I'm a little bit conspiratorial in that sense. And then the refs too. I mean, usually I'd be complaining about the refs, but I thought they were fine. The last 3 games, the refs have been pretty okay. It's been a very welcome change because it's allowed both teams, not just the Blues, but it's allowed the Avalanche to kind of play a more physical style without really having to worry. Of course, all the penalties that were called in this one were totally understandable calls, and we're all okay with that. There might have been a botched call in there, once. We can't have everything, right? We can't ask for everything in that sense. But yeah, let's just look at a few other shots there. Blues scored on the power play, 1 for 2. That was Braden Schen's absolute snipe. What a beauty. And we dominated the faceoff. Well, not dominated. It was 51-49. I thought for the most part we did an okay job of staying out of the box. We did have 8 penalty minutes, but in the grand scheme of a game, especially against a team like that, you got to be a little bit aggressive, and that's you pay for that. Later in the game. Blocks were 22-4 for the Blues, so that just proves how many shot attempts the Avs always have, and that also proves that the Blues are forcing the Avalanche, who are, once again, this high-octane offensive team, they forced them to the outside for the majority of the game, and that's something that you gotta commend for the Blues. Just an excellent job, especially against that team. I know I've said that 100 times, but, it's true. We did have 17 giveaways, which I'm not, super happy about, but the Avs had 21, so you can't really... you got to count your losses there. And then takeaways were 10-7 for the Blues. So, overall, a good game by the Blues. If they play this game, against every opponent from going forward, they got a good shot at, really solidifying themselves in the 4th seed. Do I want them to be decided? I'm not sure if I want them in the playoffs yet or not. It's going to take a few more gutsy wins like this to really prove to me that, they belong, because as they stand right now, I still don't think they belong. But my opinions change, my opinions have changed many times, on things like Justin Falk or things like Torrey Krug or things like Zach Sanford. My opinions definitely change, and Kyle Clifford especially. So you just got to take it one game at a time. I'm proud of him. And you should be too. And I'm glad that, the Blues really stepped up in this game and proved that, they can hold their own when they choose to hold their own. So for that, they do have to be commended for that. So, okay, I think it's time to do just the de facto questions segment real quick. Let's see what you guys came up with. All right, so Penguin Note says, will Husso get a start soon? Binnington has been playing in 5 games straight. I think against the Anaheim series and I think we play the Kings too. I think Husso gets the start in at least one of the Anaheim games and against LA. And maybe even the last game of the season if they solidify a spot, because you want Binnington to rest. But Binnington isn't a goalie that gets fatigued. He doesn't strike me as that kind of goaltender. So, it's just a matter of, if you need to play Husso, play him. But I would like Jordan Binnington to, have a few more games against tough opponents. Just, have him really get prepared if this team does end up making the playoffs, because we're far from a lock from the playoffs. A lot of Blues fans on Twitter are like, we are on a lock for the playoffs. That's just not true. The Blue, even though the Coyotes absolutely suck, I think they're losing 2-0 right now to the Ducks, I'm pretty sure. Some garbage to the Sharks, I'm sorry. But they do have to prove themselves. If they want to make the playoffs, they got to prove themselves. So Russell says that's 2 out of 5, 3 to go. What was your favorite play of this game? Schenn goal for me? Yeah, definitely the Schenn goal for me. I also, honorable mention was the Thomas goal. I really loved that. But not just because of the goal itself. It's because during that Thomas goal, about 30 seconds prior, the Avs had the puck in that zone. And Makar and I think it was Graves, don't quote me on that, were just kind of lazily passing it in front of, their own net. And O'Reilly and Schenn just came barging into the forecheck and barging into the forecheck and hone them in their zone. And, this is Cale Makar we're talking about. This is no normal defenseman. This is Cale freaking Makar. And they found a way to, make him nervous and strip him of the puck, hit him, pin him against the boards and allow David Perron to take that puck and, make a play out of it. They did multiple, they had a bunch of really good passes in the slot, and then Scandella with that insane hold-in pass was like freaking, was freaking amazing. And then David Perron, Robert Thomas with a finisher. So, it's one of those underrated plays that I don't think people appreciated enough. Yeah, I think actually the Thomas goal is my favorite but the Shen one was a very, very close second, okay, do you think the Blues can handle Colorado or Vegas in the first round? Not yet. I don't think so quite yet. I mean, Colorado and Vegas are Colorado and Vegas for a reason. There's a reason why they are two of the best teams in the entire league. Not just the division, the entire league. So you just never know until it happens. The playoffs are a wild thing. Wild things happen. So it's just a matter of, it's a matter of waiting till then. I mean, you saw 2019 with the Lightning and Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets didn't have a shot, and they swept them. So just weird shit happens in the playoffs. You just never know. This year, the President's Trophy is basically meaningless. I wouldn't say meaningless. I mean, it's... Yeah, okay, it's a little meaningless. Just because, you're only playing the same 7 opponents, right? Or 6 if you're in the Canadian division, So it's... Yeah, it's a strange season for sure, and last season was a strange season, but it just is what it is. So, Vegas super fan Carlos says, "Do we just become best friends?" No, never. I might have a Mark Stone jersey, and I might like the Knights when they're not playing the Blues, but we are not friends. Okay, yes, we're friends. Okay, that's fine. Well, not when we play each other. No way. Maybe if you beat the Colorado Avalanche in the playoffs, I might like you a little more. Let's see. Cletus's playoff bound says, "Is the tank progressing nicely since I last checked in?" Yeah, he's playing good. Rob Tom the Tank is playing really, really good. He's had 2 major injuries this year, and, he really deserves to be in the lineup, and he deserves to have the shot that he's having right now. So, hey, good win by the boys here. I think that's going to do it for this one, but once again, I apologize that I had to do a one take again, but, like I said, I can't sit down in this chair for, long periods of time. Maybe if my back feels better, I can do that, because I do want to go back to jump cuts, but right now it's just out of the question. So, but I do appreciate you guys watching. I do appreciate you guys subscribing, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's go Blues!